welcome to No Newsense. On today's episode, we will be featuring the top stories of the week. We will be discussing Tamil Nadu's controversial sport Jallikattu, the Russian government drama, and the Trump impeachment trial. Our top story for today is the Australian bushfires. We're not supposed to be very happy about that, but okay. The climate movement has gained traction and support across the world in 2019. So much so that teenage activist Greta Thunberg was asked to speak at the United Nations Climate Action Summit and was named Time's Person of the Year. Notwithstanding the fact that she is a teenager working on her anger management problem. But this doesn't mean that the situation has improved. The Oxford Dictionary's word of the year was climate energy and Collins was climate strike. The word climate change and crisis appeared together across various media a number of times. The biggest crisis that we have carried into 2020 is the wildfire situation in Australia. The Australian fire season usually starts in December and continues till February. However, this time around, it began in late June and has continued to spread across many parts of the country. New South Wales and Victoria have borne the brunt of the raging fires, with a minimum 100 fires burning in these two states alone. As of now, 10 million hectares of forests and bushland have been razed to the ground. 700,000 to 800,000 animals have been reported dead. Of this, 28,000 are reported to be koalas. The board governing the drought-stricken lands of the APY, which stands for Anangu I don't even want to try pronouncing that. Let's just have it on screen here, please. Thank you. So they have ordered the culling of 5,000 feral camels. Additionally, 28 people have died, including 4 firefighters. Situated southwest of Adelaide, Kangaroo Island is the third largest island in Australia after Tasmania and Melville Island. It is known for its unique mix of animal species. It is safe to say that this is the most dangerous place in Australia to be in right now. The government has sent rescuers to comb through the Flinders Chase National Park to look for injured, lost, and starving animals. If you think this isn't bad enough, wait till you hear this. 24 people were arrested in connection with starting the fires. The New South Wales Deputy Police Commissioner, Gary Warboys, said that not all the blazes were ignited intentionally, but the crisis has prompted a zero-tolerance approach in fire-related activity. He said, "I know a lot of them were doing things like this or using fireworks or lighting fires to camp or cook food. We make no apologies for being so vigilant." Just imagine this, taking your family out of the grasslands in a pickup truck, setting up a George Foreman grill in the back, and dropping a burning piece of kangaroo in the bushes. Police in the state have also taken legal action against the further 159 people, among them 53 people who allegedly failed to comply with the total fire ban and 47 people who allegedly discarded a lit cigarette or match on the land. Again. Fundraising efforts have been in full swing around the globe. The film, music, sports, and gaming industries, among others, have as of now donated a total of 500 million Australian dollars to various charities and organizations in Australia. Tennis players at the Australian Open took to the courts to raise funds. Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, Nick Kyrgios, and Serena Williams are some of the tennis stars to do so. Movie star and Norse god Chris Hemsworth has donated 1 million Australian dollars to help his Asgard on Earth. The biggest donation has come from Fortescue Metals Group CEO Andrew Forrest and his wife Nicola, with their donation of 70 million Australian dollars. On December 31st, the government announced that it would deploy the Army and the Navy to carry out rescue operations. These operations have since seen a massive surge in beachgoers as people and animals have taken refuge along the coasts. Ironically, rescue operations in the eastern region have been sped up because of the sudden onset of rain. what was supposed to be a welcome respite from the scorching temperature has become a worse threat to life. Flash floods, which are being described as the worst to ever hit the country, have forced rescuers to concentrate their efforts on preventing helpless animals from being washed away. To know more about this, we spoke to Mr. Jacob Snuffington, president of the Koala Welfare Association in Queensland.
Welcome to the jungle, Mr. Snuffington.
Excuse me?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Welcome to the show, Mr. Snuffington. We are very fortunate to have someone as qualified as you on our show. So, let's get right into it. What is the situation on Kangaroo Island?
Well, we've deployed 200 paratrooper koalas to help with the rescue efforts. They are equipped with fire-repellent eucalyptus branches and are guaranteed to save every last koala if they aren't already dead on that island.
Well, that's reassuring, I think. So, have you been receiving support from rest of the animal kingdom?
Oh yes, our allies have been incredibly supportive and have provided us with both animal power and funds. Our bank accounts have now been full. But money has been moving fast, with all the cars and houses we have been buying.
Wait, so you are talking about all the shelters and transportation you've put together?
Oh, exactly, that's what I mean.
So, you mean to say even the kangaroos have been helping you out?
The kangaroos, Firstly, their pouches aren't even that deep. Why would we accept help from a species that takes pride in hopping around and being overprotective of their children?
Well, as we know, it has been 20 years since the president of the Kangaroo Welfare Association sucker punched you at the Kensington Kangaroo and Koala Summit. So, how has your relationship with him been since then?
Well, I do not associate myself with that sleazy Roo any longer. He isn't bothered about his own species, let alone ours. If he really was a noble soul, he would be sitting in this chair. I did not mean to flatter myself, but I think I have done more for animals than any other leader in the animal kingdom. As with that incident, the only reason he got a jump on me was because I was under the heavy influence of eucalyptus gin and other substances.
Coming back to the matter at hand, what have you done to accommodate fleeing koalas?
The Welfare Association has built, I think, 6 shelters for those fleeing from New South Wales and Victoria. Each shelter is big enough to house 200 koalas, and might I add that each koala has been given a ration of 3 eucalyptus leaves per week.
Mr. Snuffington, we did some digging of our own, and we have found that you have grossly misused the help you have been getting. Is that not true?
But
See, you deployed only a couple hundred rescuers when in reality you have thousands at your disposal. Is it not true that you have been selectively permitting koalas into your shelters, the ones you think are worth saving?
no, you see,
No,
that's...
even the ones that you have been taking in are being mistreated. You are barely giving them the minimum sustenance and are using them as laborers, showing no regard for the trauma they have just been put through. And you did receive funds from the Kangaroo Association. We have a copy of the transaction right here. Do you have anything else to say? I thought not.
Well, that was an interesting interview with Mr. Snuffington. Now, we have had reports that the rest of the animal kingdom is majorly concerned about their dear friends, the bulls of Tamil Nadu. This year's Jallikattu is well underway, and so far, 32 people have been injured during several events across Tamil Nadu. Jallikattu, which is a traditional bull taming sport, is a part of Pongal festivities in the state. Beginning on the day of Pongal, Jallikattu usually goes on till the 31st of January. This is not the first time spectators and participants have been injured. The sport has had a fair share of controversies in the past. In 2014, the Supreme Court of India banned the practice of Jallikattu after the Animal Welfare Board of India and PETA filed a plea claiming animal abuse. Widespread protests in Tamil Nadu followed the ruling, which caused the ban to be lifted again in 2017. As of 19th January, there have been 5 Jallikattu-related deaths in the state. Ethically, Jallikattu is a sport which is inherently cruel towards bulls. The argument of pro-Jallikattu activists is that it helps preserve indigenous breeds. This argument is twofold. They claim that the sport provides an incentive for effective breed rearing and the winning bull produces healthier offsprings. We recently carried out a survey of our own, and to our surprise, record sales for You're the One That I Want and Say You Won't Let Go peak in Tamil Nadu in the weeks leading up to the festival. Scientifically, there is no other explanation for the unwarranted intimacy that these bulls face from humans. From raging fires to raging bulls, Scorsese might just find his new Jake LaMotta in Tamil Nadu. Moving on, Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev resigned after President Vladimir Putin lightly criticized him in his annual address. President Putin suggested changes to the process of electing and removing the Prime Minister by transferring these powers to the Parliament and other senior cabinet members instead of the President. In a televised statement, Putin said Medvedev would be appointed as the Vice President of the Russian National Security Council, which is chaired by the President himself. All we can say is Putin's out here making power moves. Get it, sis. Speaking of dysfunctional governments, let's take a look at the most recent developments of the impeachment drama. President Donald Trump's legal team has submitted a brief to undercut the impeachment charges against him by branding these charges as frivolous and dangerous. According to the brief, Trump's actions do not constitute either a crime or an impeachable offense.
But the president has bigger things on his mind.
I'm also approving new dishwashers that give you more water so you can actually wash and rinse your dishes without having to do it 10 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I am joined now by our political correspondent, Preetika, live from Capitol Hill. Preetika, what's the goss from the Capitol building?
Trump's defense team will include Clinton prosecutor Kenneth Starr and Epstein lawyer Alan Dershowitz. Each senator has taken an oath promising to deliver impartial justice during the trial. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts will be present to ensure that the trial sticks to the predetermined rules. Impeachment managers include 7 Democrats. In an uncharacteristic move, live tweeting from the chamber has been prohibited. Reading material from outside is not allowed to be brought in, and senators are not allowed to speak to those sitting near them while the case is being heard. On day 1 of the trial, the US Senate rejected Democratic efforts to obtain evidence and ensure that witnesses are heard. Senator Mitch McConnell allowed an extra day for opening arguments, extending presentations for 3 days from each side instead of 2 overnight sessions. After the articles of impeachment are presented, senators are expected to stay in session until the final decision is made. This implies that the 4 Democratic senators running for the presidency, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, and Michael Bennet, will have to withdraw their campaigns until the trial is done. Democrats expect the trial to end by February.
Thank you, Preetika.
Hey guys!
Thank you for joining us on the inaugural episode of the 3rd season of No Newsense.
Stay tuned for more.
Like,
Share
Subscribe.
and leave your thoughts in the comments below.
see you next week.
week.